Hello and welcome to Jamie's Motion Graphics, episode 44. Today we're making this. This is a remake of one of the previous tutorials I did. I will leave a link in the description where you can see the other one, and if I forgot, please leave a comment. Okay, here we are in After Effects. We are going to load in our picture first. So what we're going to do here is we're going to remake an effect that I made in one of the previous tutorials. In that case, I used a random effect to reveal a photograph, and we're going to do kind of the same thing here, but then in a non-random fashion, which means that the effect is more controllable and, well, you can definitely make something better out of it if you desire so. So this is our picture. We can of course adjust it to fit better or whatever, but yeah, for now it will do pretty nicely. Let's put it up a little bit so that we have a little bit more, well, profile in the bottom, something like that. Anyhow, the effect is going to be similar to our previous one. We're going to make a new composition. This is going to be, well, last time I called it ring, so let's call it ring as well. I will link the other tutorial, well, somewhere, either in the description or directly on the screen here, if I can find this point in the video, and I actually remember to do it. So if I didn't, please leave me a comment so I can do it. But anyhow, what we're going to do is make a solid. It's going to be a white solid. It was already white. Well, I wanted it to be pure white. And what we're going to make here is we're going to create a little bit of a square, or I don't really care. At this point, I don't really care because I'm going to remake it into an ellipse anyway. And we're going to set it to, let's say, diameter 200, so 540, 260, 740, 460. We set to ellipse, and there you go. It's actually way too big, but yeah, well, I guess we can manage by just taking the expansion, doing -50 or something like that. 50. There you go. That's a little bit better. So now it's well, it's 100. We can also, of course, just type in the thing that we need for 100. Okay, what we're going to do here is, let's make just a new composition and make this the matrix. So this matrix is going to be the setup that we use to reveal our photograph. So the positions here are going to be, well, not randomized, but we're going to make them depend on, well, where we are. So currently, let's make them have an index in there. So we do want a standard setup. So what we would like is a little bit bigger window to work in here. So let's say we want, currently we have 100 by 100, so we want 13 of them over here, and then, yeah, so let's first do the x value. The x value is going to be index times 100 minus 40, because we want to be kind of scaled left and right, and yeah, that's about it. So yeah, then the y value is currently always 1. So yeah, or, well, 0, I guess. So we will see that as in, oh yeah, we still have to do, hang on, we still have to do the x value comma y value, and that should do it. So now, as you can see, it's over there. It's not a perfect fit for where we're supposed to be, but yeah, you can see how it works. And now if I make multiples, they will go next to each other and they will fill out the entire screen. Well, that's exactly the thing. I was hoping for kind of a, well, exact fit here in the corner, but I guess that I did something wrong for that. And, well, the minus 40 was for that, but I guess that is not what I needed. Actually, the middle of the screen is 640. So yeah, if I do this, then we will kind of, I don't even know. Let's see where we end up. I guess over there. So it has to be index -1. That's first of all. Index -1, and then let's see where we are. Currently, we're just there. So apparently, it just reads it from the top left position. So this is 0, 0, as you can see, and then the next one is going to be at 100, 0, and then 200, 300, 400, and so on. So it's a pretty easy to understand thing. Oh, let's redo that. Control-Shift-Z. Okay, so what we have here is our top left corner, but what we want is, or we basically have our entire row here. What we want is to have second and third and fourth row as well, so multiple rows. Who knew, right? So instead of just being one-dimensional, we need to make it two-dimensional, and we're going to do that as follows. No, let's just do it like this. While let's say index smaller than, oh no, bigger than. How many do we have? We have 13, I said, yeah. So every time, well, it starts here and then it reads the index, and if the index is bigger than 13, we're going to do, hang on, we need to set current index because we can't actually fact the index, is index. So the current index is basically the same as the index in the beginning, but we can actually manipulate it. So current index minus 13. So the first 13 will just line up. Then for the second one, we do minus 13, so it's back to 0. Hang on, it should be, yeah, sorry, back to 1. That's where it should be, because we do the -1 afterwards. And then we're, at the same time, we're going to say y row, no, row, y row +1, well, plus, which is, a y row is y row +1. And hopefully that works. That means that now all we need to do is say y row times 100. And this should be it, if we actually had a definition of y row. So y row is 0, and there we go. So let's see what happens if we make multiples. And we of course have to make at least 14 now. Hello. Yay! It doesn't really like me. Let's see where it actually ended up. Come on, you know you want to. Okay, so it's taken a while, and hopefully it will actually find the solution. Hopefully I didn't make some kind of stupid loop. I did, didn't I? I don't know how to cancel that. Yeah, so now it disabled everything. Let's see what the problem is. This one shouldn't be index -1, that's 1. This should be current index. Hang on, while it's bigger than 13, we do -13. Oh, minus is, yeah. There we go. Because otherwise it's a continuous loop and blah blah. Yeah, my mistake. Well, obviously it's my mistake. I'm the only one here. So let's try again, and this time it does work. As you can see, it jumps to the next one. We do need 14 though. So just take this and make this 14 minus 14. Well, I'm not going to set up a variable for that particular thing because it's going to stick with exactly this. So anyway, we have now a way to make this just appear as balls, which is cool. I don't know how many of them I would need to fill up the entire screen, but we'll soon find out. Let's see, so let's delete a few until we actually reach the, oh hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I need 8 of them to fill the entire screen, which means that we have to incorporate that as well, because we're not done yet, as you might have noticed. So we're going to say if y row is bigger than 8, we're going to subtract 8 y row minus is 8 equals, I guess it's in English, we just call it is, but yeah. So anyway, this we have the y row minus 8, which means that if this triggers, we don't want this. So if that doesn't trigger, we want this old thing to happen, because then we're in the old values. So this is for the first setup, basically, the part where the field we just made. You saw it just before, the one with all the balls just nicely stacked together, but now we want to fill in the gaps that are there. So we're going to say the x value. The x value actually should be something like this plus 50, and this one should also be plus 50. So the way this works now is it gets transported 50, 50 if the y row is bigger than 8, and hopefully that will work out. So let's see what it looks like if we make multiples. So yeah, we're going to make quite a few, because that's the way it works. And hopefully this will all work out. Don't say that I have exactly enough, because I don't believe that. Which one is the last one? 114. No, so it doesn't work the way it's supposed to. So apparently for this particular one, y row is now 8, because it's 8 times 100, so it's still in this one. And I'm not sure why it then goes all the way down there. Hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, this needs to be 7. Hang on. Yeah, because we start at 0. That's why. And now we're going to, if it's bigger than 7, it has to go minus 8. Yeah, that sounds about right. And the current index has to be -1 as well. The current index that we're using is putting it in the wrong spot. I guess I need to just do this -50. There you go. Hopefully this will work out. I don't know why it's -50 though. But hey, whatever. If it works, it works. So we just need to duplicate this once again. Yeah, there are way better ways to do this, obviously. And now, yeah, it's starting to fill up, as you can see. And that is exactly the way we want that. Okay, last thing here. So yeah, we overshot by like 6, but that's quite alright. Let's delete 6 of them. So we have the entire screen filled now, and what we want to do is we want to sequence these layers so that they actually don't pop on all at the same time, or in this case they're already there. But if we moved all of the layers forward, then yeah, they would all just pop in at the same time. The thing is, if we do it with sequence, so if we select all and then go to keyframe assistant and just say sequence layers by 2 frames, then yeah, what happens is this. It will just go row by row and then fill in the blanks, which is exactly what we don't want. So I'm going to undo that, and what we have to do now is do it manually. So just drag it out. It doesn't matter really where you put them, as long as you have some kind of spread. We're going to be able to adjust them later, the speed that is. So if you want to do something with the up until 10 seconds, that's fine. I'm currently at about 8 seconds, I guess. So what you normally could do, for example, if I wanted to change that last one took a little bit too long to come on. So we're going to go to the one layer that's not done here. So I just scrolled through the time bar until I found this point, which is this one. So and this is the layer that we're talking about. So yeah, now it comes on a little bit earlier, and the animation will already be done a little bit sooner. So yeah, if you're having trouble like I am currently, just set this to 1/4, and you should have less of a problem with the the calculation issues. Now this one is the last one, and if you think that's still too it still takes too long, you can of course search for that one, but I don't think it's a real problem. It's like 2 frames behind the others. But yeah, if you think like, okay, in this frame there are too many of them coming in, like you can just scroll through it with the page down. In this case, well, page up goes the other way. You can just say like, yeah, there are too many of them coming in. You just go to the frame where they all come in. So let's say at this frame we have like 6 of them coming in. You go to this frame and you just start searching for them. So this one, for example, comes in at this moment, and we will see which one it is. It's actually the top one there. But yeah, since I have no trouble, it's this one. Since I have no trouble with it, I'm just going to leave it. But yeah, you can see how that works, right? So if you're having like issues with entire blobs coming in, just search for the blobs and just, well, change their timing. I think it seems fine. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take the matrix and we're going to plop it in here as our Luma matte, and then we're going to set this tracker matte to Luma matte. And now what happens is it will plop on the way it's supposed to, but we don't want it to plop on like this. That looks terrible. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to ring, and yes, I didn't accidentally leave this to the end. This is what I actually wanted to show you. Because I made this in a modular fashion, I actually used the ring in the matrix and the matrix in the comp, or in the final design, let's call it. I actually still have the option to edit this. So if I want to make this into an animation, I can still do that, which is exactly what we're going to do, by the way. So duplicate. We're going to keep this into a circle, by the way. But we're going to make this into a subtract mask. We're going to go to the mask expansion, set it to yay big. And then, well, first of all, we're going to set the mask expansion for both of them. And then we're going to go to, let's say, 2 seconds. And set some keyframes. Because this is basically the end position for them. And what we want is we want this mask expansion to actually be like minus something. Hang on, let's first set this one. This one has to be minus, I don't even know, minus 100. That is completely gone. So what we would like is to have this mask expansion be minus 110. And then they both come up at the same time. So let's say at 2 seconds they're both done, but then at 3 seconds we want this one to stay the same, but the other one to become minus 100. So what it looks like now is this. It comes out as a ring, and then it fills in the ring. There you go. It's really easy manipulation of what's happening, but yeah, you will see that in the overall thing it will look actually very cool, because you get all these rings and then all the rings will start filling in at different times, and because of that you get a completely different animation. So if you made this into a square and then made all the squares just fill in, or even do something completely different, yeah, the effect of a simple animation is just so good when you, well, regard it in such a matrix form. And you can see that even though we randomized it by hand, it still looks pretty awesome. So even though this takes a little while to make, I think it's well worth it. And you can see that even in the little gaps that are still there, it is still interesting animation. And that's exactly what we're going for. So I'll show you what we have so far, because I was of course loading this into the memory, and yeah, you can see that it actually looks pretty cool. So if you were saying like, yeah, this is not really what I wanted something that's even more spectacular, especially in the beginning, then just feel free to add another mask. We're going to duplicate this mask, for example, and put it over here and say, well, for the first seconds, this one is going to do something that the other one doesn't, obviously. So let's say this one goes over here, maybe even a little bit more. Maybe we go to minus 25. Just make it way bigger. And duplicate this. And make the this one minus, I don't know, 30 or something like that. Yeah, I don't know where it went. Oh, it's still additive. Okay. So yeah, what it currently does is, while the other one is expanding, this one is, or supposed to, well, we should put it in a new layer, to be honest. Never mind, we're going to delete these two masks. Bye-bye. Duplicate this, it's just way easier that way. Otherwise the subtract mask will affect the additive mask and blah blah blah. We don't want to deal with that. Let's hit U, the easiest way to go, and just drag these forward to about 1 second. and I can delete this one. So currently at 1 second, what we want is we want this one to be -25, and we want this one to be -30, as I said. So we have kind of a thing going off, and then we're going to immediately at, well, 101, so this one, we're going to say this one is 0. So it immediately deletes it. So what it looks like is this, and then immediately gets deleted. But because there are a lot of them on screen, it will actually look like big explosions. We can of course do it a little bit differently if we wanted to. We have the ability to just do this multiple times, for example. If we copy this one and just plop it in at, let's say, 10, and then again at 20, and then again at 30. And we do the same with the subtract mask. And then we take the first one and plop it in just behind it, so 1 frame behind. 1 frame behind it. Oh, yeah, don't need that. And we do the same here. So what we have now is it comes in, then it goes down again, but it starts over, and it starts over, and then it's gone. So let's show you what it actually looks like. Well, it's a very simple animation. We can even do it more times if we want to. We can do it faster. We can do, yeah, anything with it. But the thing is, if we put this into our overall composition, then this is what it will look like. Like, it will just be chaos. Because we have everything explode 3 times now before filling in, it will just become chaos. And yeah, this is still at like half speed, so I'll show you at full speed. But yeah, still loading in, so yeah, this is far enough. So this is what it will look like chaos. But that's exactly what we're creating. We're creating something that is spectacular. So the only thing I still wanted to do here, by the way, is make a new background layer. So let's call it background. And let's make it, it doesn't matter. White is good enough. We're going to make it into a 4-color thingy. Make it something grayish. Yeah, I'm going to take light and dark gray, but I'll make it disappear into the background a little bit better in a moment. So it's currently way too light for what I wanted. This one is a little bit too dark. Or the other one is a little bit too light, but yeah, that's good enough. So anyhow, just making something random here, and then we're going to set the opacity to something low, just so we have something as a background, and there we go. So now we can actually see the bottom part as well, because with a black background we can't see the black coming in, and this way we can still see that. So yeah, that's all I have to say about this one. I hope you really learned a little bit about how to make these things, and I will see you next time.